And right now, we are 2 minutes away from the end of the trading day. Romaine Bostick here with Katie Greifeld, taking you through to that closing bell with a global simulcast. Carol Massar and Tim Stenovec join us now. Welcome to our audiences across all of our Bloomberg platforms, television, radio, and our partnership with YouTube. An eye on the broad market, Carol Massar, but also an eye on Micron, a stock that fell 14% yesterday. It's been all over the map today, up 3%, down 3%, and now we're going to have a moment of truth in just a few minutes when they report earnings.
Yeah, it's a really good point. As you mentioned, down as much as almost 6% earlier in the session, down just about 1.4%. You know, what it says, CapEx spending, margin, like all these different things will matter, and whether or not it'll give kind of a little bit of some juice maybe to that AI-infused trade, or does it kind of take some more of the air out of it?
Speaking of juice, you guys are talking about what the stock did yesterday and what it did today.
Yeah.
It's up more than 260% this year.
Perspective, right?
It's a lot of juice.
That's a lot of juice.
It's a lot of juice. I will say, though, when it comes to its earnings report, it does have a little bit of a volatile past here. It's fallen on the day after earnings in 5 of the past 6 quarters. You take a look at the options pricing right now, it looks like we're priced for a swing of more than 10% in either direction. So even with all that juice that we've seen year to date, probably some more volatility on the way.
Yeah, and we should point out, we're talking about a company that's expected to report triple-digit revenue growth, triple-digit profit growth, and 80% gross margins. But as we've seen in the past, as Katie was just kind of alluded to, sometimes high expectations leads to disappointment. We do get the closing bells here in New York with the Dow Jones Industrial Average holding in the green, up about 175 points, or about 3 to 4% as we wait for these numbers to settle. The S&P 500 will finish in the red, down 0.1%. The NASDAQ will finish in the red, down 0.4%, and the Russell 2000, Carol Massar, will be up on the day by 0.4%.
All right, good to know. Digging a little bit deeper into the S&P 500, you've got 321 names to the upside, Katie, 180 to the downside, 2 unchanged.
You take a look at the sector level, a little bit more of an even split. Industrials, your biggest performer on the day, higher by more than 1%. Utilities and healthcare also seeing a relatively big bid here. In terms of what didn't perform, as you might expect, energy down 1.7% as oil continues to slide. And then information technology as a sector down about 0.6%, again, as we await those Micron results.
All right.
I just want to point out for you to that, Carol, just so we get it out of the way, that Fed stress test of the major banks is out, all 32 banks passing that annual stress test.
All right, good to know. We're waiting for Micron, expected to report any moment now. I'm just going to go to something that's not a chip company, but energy companies. We did see some of the solar companies rising in today's session. Sunrun was up as much as 31% in today's session, finished with a gain of about 12.5%. That's after the company announced a pact with Renew Home and Tesla to deliver more than 16 gigawatts of flexible energy capacity to hyperscalers and utilities. So there is a little bit of an AI trade in there. And you also saw Enphase up as much, up about 1.2%. Also want to take you to the home builders, which we did see a rally in today's session, a gain of more than 6%. This as President Trump canceled plans to sign that bipartisan bill aimed at lowering housing costs and increasing supply until Congress approves voting restrictions.
Yeah.
Keep in mind that bill did include a provision when it came to investors not being able to buy. We got Micron earnings.
Micron earnings are out. The shares all over the map for the third quarter. It does look like results did come in above estimates here. But here's your forecast, what everyone is focused on. Fourth quarter adjusted revenue, 49 to 51 billion. The street was looking for 43. So a big guide above what the street was looking for the fourth quarter on the revenue side. The company also saying that for the fourth quarter, that's the current quarter that we're in right now, gross margin will be 86%. That's an expansion, and that's also above street estimates. They were looking for roughly about 84% on the gross margin side. Micron also saying that its customer base is rapidly growing, and it is seeing an increase in demand. I do just want to circle back to the third quarter numbers, the quarter that just passed. It does look like a beat on that front as well. The bottom line number, third quarter adjusted EPS, $25.11. The street was looking for basically $20.49 on the revenue side as well. Katie, also a beat there at about 41.46 billion. The street was looking for roughly about 36.
So a beat when it comes to their third quarter adjusted EPS, also a beat when it comes to their third quarter adjusted revenue, coming in at $41.46 billion, healthily above the estimate of $35.69 billion. You can see the shares moving higher after hours, especially when you take a look, as Romaine walked through, that fourth quarter look ahead for adjusted revenue, a range between $49 billion to $51 billion. The midpoint of that well above the estimate heading into this print, which was $43.24 billion, Carol.
Got to say, the adjusted gross margin, that's a big, important number for this company, 84.9% versus 39% year over year. The estimate was 81.9%. We should expect to see margin expansion. This is something we talked about with our Mandeep Singh, this idea that the demand has been out there, the costs have been higher, so you would expect to see that increased level of profitability and certainly margins increasing. The chairman, president, and CEO of Micron, Sanjay Mehrotra, saying the record fiscal third quarter financial results and even stronger outlook for the fourth quarter reflect the strategic value of memory in the AI era.
Yeah, I mean, I really focused on this margin number for the current quarter, 86% versus 83.6%. That expanded. Fourth quarter adjusted revenue coming above estimates, $49 billion to $51 billion. We're also getting some more granularity when it comes to other parts of the business, not as important to the stock move and to investors, but third quarter mobile and client revenue coming above estimates, third quarter core data center revenue coming above estimates, third quarter cloud memory revenue coming in above estimates, fourth quarter adjusted EPS, once again, $30 to $32. That's the outlook. The estimate was for $25.31. Shares up 3.5%. It's a lot, but not really when you look in the context of the move that the stock has made this year.
Yeah, and of course, a lot of people are really kind of keeping a lookout also for those higher end chips. These are the HBM chips. They do say in the release that it is in high volume shipments for its lead customer's platform, and says that qualification samples have been shipped to multiple end customers as well. So that would be the longer term growth story here. The company saying that production on that is well underway and that it does expect volume production on that HBM4E chip in calendar year 2027.
And we know when it comes to those HBM chips, I mean, that's a market that's really controlled by SK Hynix. According to Counterpoint Research, SK Hynix controls about 58% of global market share there. Samsung, Micron had about 21 apiece, according to that research firm. So it's going to be interesting to see what that longer term growth story looks like, to Romaine's point. I do want to point out, I mean, shares really extending after hours right now, higher by 6% on top of the enormous gain we saw year to date coming into today. I want to point out, though, that when it comes to their valuation, Micron shares are still priced at less than 10 times estimated earnings. So from that perspective, you could make the case that maybe they look inexpensive still.
We should also point out that most of the chip space now, which was down in the cash session, Carol, all moving higher in the after hours. SanDisk up about 4.5%. Western Digital getting a strong bid. Lam Research, Credo, Qualcomm, and the like.
Yeah.
What about Cerebras?
Yeah, is it kicking up in the after hours? Hey, Dina Bass of our Bloomberg News team doing a quick write through on these numbers and reminding us Micron, the largest U.S. maker of computer memory chips, delivering that sales forecast that top Wall Street estimates after AI-fueled shortages of the components sent prices soaring. So again, revenue will be approximately $50 billion in the fiscal fourth quarter, which runs through August. Analysts had estimated about $43.2 billion on average. X some items, profit will be about $31 a share compared with a projection of $25.31. And again, we've talked and highlighted their margin outperformance, which is so important here, certainly when it comes to what we see. And a third quarter adjusted gross margin, 84.9%. Estimate on the street was 81.9%. Stock now up about 8.5% here in the aftermarket. So the momentum, the upward momentum, increasing here in the after hours.
Yeah, remember what this is about. It's about AI. It's about that spending spree from the data center operators that has stoked the appetite for conventional memory, but also high bandwidth memory, which works with AI systems. So this is why investors are looking at it so closely. Cameron Kreis writing today, this is the third most important company in the world after NVIDIA and Alphabet.
All right, guys, we wrap and we see.
It's the third biggest weighting in that NASDAQ 100.
Yeah, it's a big one, right? Again, the stock just off its highs here in the aftermarket. Micron shares still up about 7.5%.